Warm-hearted viewers, this is Start ANEW on his coming broadcasting network. The term Start ANEW is an acronym which stands for sunlight, temperance, air, rest, trust in God, alternative medicine, nutrition, exercise, and water. Today, we are honored to feature Dr. Samuel Dizon on our program.
Welcome again to our continuation of STBN's Start ANEW program for a lecture about cancer. Earlier I said that the more often we eat meat, the higher the risk of cancer. Now, more often we eat meals, the higher also the risk of rectal and colon cancer. As I said before, it's because of the enzyme being utilized instead of being used to protect us from cancer. It's being used to digest food. And according to studies, especially in alternative medicine, we're only supposed to eat 3 times a day. And for patients with cancer, I tell them personally that their evening meal should be in a blended or liquefied form. This is to help maximize their enzyme production that we can then use to fight cancer. Now, what else? Exercise and cancer. The more we exercise, the better and the lesser the risk of cancer. It has been known to reduce the risk of ovarian and endometrial cancer because you're able to burn off estrogen. It reduces the risk of prostate cancer. It makes your body produce certain types of antibodies: interferon, interleukin-1, 2, and natural killer cells. These are the special forces of our white blood cell that is specifically designed to kill viruses, and cancer cells. So what are the elements of a cancer protective lifestyle? Proper diet, maintain proper weight. The diet should be more on fruits, vegetables, cereals, grains, and nuts. Actually, check your Bible, that's the Genesis 1:29 diet. Regular meals with no snacks, and there should be regularity in the time you eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What else? Regular aerobic exercise, because cancer doesn't like high level of oxygen. Plus, your body becomes better circulating, and the blood gets a very good circulation. You eliminate more toxins out through sweating, and your immune system is stronger. Sunlight in moderation, because we do need sunlight in order for certain processes in the body to function. Stress control, and we would say one of the need for stress control is, one of the ways to have stress control is to have a cheerful attitude and an abiding trust in God. Now, these are some of the cancer protective fruits and vegetables, and the Philippines is very rich in all these vegetables and fruits. And there are some facts about cancer and cleansing. There are pollutants in the air, in the chemicals that we have, industrial pollution, cigar smoke, automobile, bus, train. There's so many things that we are exposed to. Exposure to heavy metals. From tobacco smoke, we get nickel, lead, cadmium, and arsenic. From our cooking pot, even stainless steel can have some chemicals that are corroded. Comes to our food, aluminum ware, jewelry, oil, refined food, and so on. Even our mercury fillings. We have what we call biological dentists who are trained to remove that, because if an ordinary dentist try to remove it, they don't know the precautions that are needed. And they themselves will be exposed to the fumes of mercury, which is one of the most poisonous elements in nature. Okay, what else? Exposure to extremely low frequency pollutants from electrical waves, microwaves, cell phones, electric blankets, computers. These do release some strange electrical field that can change the way our cells functions. We call that electropollution. And then from the food we eat, of course, hormones, pesticides, preservatives. The more we messed up or we process plants and food from nature, the less the nutrient value that you may get. Okay, and then exposure to synthetic fibers, even from the cloth that we have, from the carpets or wallpaper. We inhale them, we absorb them, so we really live in a toxic environment. And these toxic things destroy our cells and create such an impact on our cells. If you'll notice the monitor, UV light, radiation, smoking, they damage the human cells. Well, the cells can repair, but they keep damaging them. 1 day, 2 days, 1 year, 2 years, pretty soon they're unable to regenerate. And then when they do, they regenerate too fast, abnormally. Then they become cancer cells. And you know, when cells are damaged, okay, when cells are damaged, several cells together will form what we call a tissue. A tissue, several tissues together will form an organ, and several organs together will form a system and a human body. So these cells acts like a domino effect. Cells are affected, tissues are affected, organs are affected, several organs, systems are affected, and then the human body is affected. Now in medicine, they treat patients by organ. Natural healing, we treat patients holistically. Because if you destroy this organ, another organ will follow. Each organ helps each other. That's why it's a system. And you don't really separate your respiratory system to your digestive system, and so it's a whole. And that is actually one of the drawbacks of medicine. The conventional doctor, if he's a specialist, is just looking at that one aspect of that person. And we are not made that way. Each part is dependent upon each other. These are the same. Toxins destroy the cells, the tissues, the organs, the system, and consequently, the human body. So what do? You do something about these free radicals, these toxins. How do you fight cancer? Well, most of the organs that are affected are the gastrointestinal system because of what we eat and if we're not able to eliminate it. Free radical agents attack the cells and produces hydrogen peroxide. And you know hydrogen peroxide also is not that well, you know. So it kills and destroys cells and results into diseases. Energy is released, you produce also free radical agents. Toxic elements destroy the cells, it also produces free radical agents. So it's like a free radical agent will destroy the cells. On the destruction of the cells, more free radical agents are produced. So how do you stop the cascade, the domino effect? So you have to block them somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere here. Special enzymes like SOD, which are present in fruits and vegetables, these are superoxide dismutase. This inactivates these free radicals. So when we take free radical antioxidants, they have a tendency to stop the process from continuing. So when you stop the process, then there is no cell death. Okay. Another way would be like this. When you have hydrogen peroxide, it comes to destroy the cells. You use antioxidants to reverse the damage being done. So if you lack oxygen, the cells gets damaged. There are leak of minerals and other things from the cell. You decrease energy production, and then you produce. So antioxidants will prevent the further degradation of cells into more free radicals. And for ischemia, let's say someone had a stroke or there's poor circulation. So ischemia means lack of oxygen. So because there's lack of oxygen in the cell, it has to work some other way into what we call anaerobic respiration. The cells swell and they die, or they go mutated and become cancer cells. Antioxidants will prevent that pathway. So this is a normal cell. This is the cell membrane. Okay? And oxygen is outside, goes into the cell, produces energy, and then sodium goes up, and sodium comes in, and potassium goes out, or vice versa. Antioxidants' job is to maintain a stronger cell membrane so it doesn't burst or it gets damaged easily. Okay. So again, antioxidants stops destruction of the cells. It reverses chemicals, so it strengthens the cell membrane so it doesn't just penetrate through. When we lecture about antioxidant, the purpose is to make you understand that God placed these things in nature, especially in the vegetable and fruit kingdom, in order to protect us from cell damage. So we're using it for anti-aging, we're using it to reverse disease, and then when you are supplementing the body with these antioxidants, nutrients, and phytochemicals, we also do what we call detoxification. Once the body is all this toxin, it has to be eliminated out. As long as the toxins are there, your body is a thriving ground for cancer. So your job is to clean up the system. Okay? So this is where we do detoxification. So when you hear someone says, oh, you have cancer, we have to do cleansing. It is because the concept is that you develop cancer because you are toxic. Because your body has toxins. We have to get rid of it. So there are 6 organs of eliminations. They're the skin, the lungs, the colon, the kidneys, the liver, and the lymph nodes. They did not do a good job. That's why you develop cancer. They better do double time. So we tell the patient you have to sweat out more. We have to apply certain things on your skin to make it sweat out more. We do enemas, colonics. You take herbs, you take probiotics to replace the good bacteria in your intestinal tract. You drink more fluids and juices so you urinate more. You sleep early so that at night your liver can do a good cleansing of the blood. The skin, we do charcoal packs, mud packs, skin brushing, water therapy. You use the 3 states of water, hydrotherapy, the solid and gas and liquid state in order to get results. Then the lungs, deep breathing exercises. We tell them do diaphragmatic breathing. It should be your tummy going like this because we are shallow breathers. We only breathe, the upper part of our lungs. We should breathe more so that you have 100% expansion of the lungs, more oxygen, more alkaline blood. Because of oxygen, cancer doesn't like that. Colon, we need good bacteria, low fat, low protein, high complex carbohydrate diet to sweep away debris and yucky stuff in the intestinal tract. Then kidneys, we need pure water. In the absence of pure water, we advise the medicinal tea, but pure water is best to clean out toxins. We use herbal tea for boosting the immune system, for fighting cancer, and for detoxification. And they go through the kidney, so you have to have a very well-functioning kidney. Then the liver, and this is an example of an herbal program for cancer. We're attacking it from different point of view. Example, you clean the blood, so you give blood purifiers. Example of blood purifiers would be podiarco or tahibo, okay? Red clover, barley, burdock root. These are herbs that have a blood cleansing effect. Chaparral, which became famous in the US before, a vital component, and comfrey of Sir Jason Winter tea, if you've heard the name. Then we give immune boosters like mushrooms, shiitake, reishi, maitake, barley, mangosteen, ginseng, lobelia. Then you give stimulants so that the patient doesn't feel yucky when they're doing a treatment. So you give them ginseng, cayenne, garlic, so they're energized, so they don't feel in bad shape. Then you get a superfood like spirulina, chlorella, aloe vera, so that the body is getting all the nutrients it's supposed to need in order to battle the illness. Then you give cleansers so that he moves his bowel well. You give fibers, you give psylliums, you get fruit enzymes like papaya enzymes and pineapple enzymes. This can clean out. Then something to make him urinate more, like diuretics. And we use bitter melon. Bitter melon is ampalaya. We use malunggay. No? We use certain herbs that has a powerful effect on the liver. And then we give megadose of vitamin C, vitamin E. We also use something called laetrile, which the conventional medical people in other countries, in the United States specifically, doesn't like. Laetrile is vitamin B17. It's an extract of cascara sagrada or kamoting kahoy. And when you juice kamoting kahoy, there are anti-cancer property there. That's very powerful, but there is a certain limit. You can have reactions if you overdose. Cascara extract, apple seed, as well as bitter almonds all have a chemical called laetrile or amygdalin, which is a natural anti-cancer component. Of course, there's overdose, so you don't overdo it. And also cassava. So laetrile or vitamin B17 has a direct cancer-killing effect, but it doesn't kill normal cells. So there's an injectable form and there's a capsule form. For people who cannot afford the injectable or capsule form, you can use cassava, maybe about 4 inches long, juice it, add 2 cups of water, and drink 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the evening for cancer patients. So these are some of the modalities that we give in order to fight cancer. There are other things that are out there. There's pancreatic enzymes, there's megadose of vitamin C, but mostly we attack cancer from different angle. The other data or details that we are going to talk about is the diet for a patient with cancer. And this is why we have the whiteboard. We believe that diet and nutrition is the mainstay of a cancer program. There are many cancer programs. There's the Gerson program, the Oasis of Hope program under Dr. Contreras. There's the Hulda Clark program. There's the Hallelujah program penned by Reverend George Malcolm, a Baptist minister. And there are Huxley program. There's the Otto Warburg program. There's so many programs. There's about 50 to 60 different programs. And there are several hundreds of supplements that have shown promise in terms of fighting cancer. But the basic thing is still nutrition. If you can make the blood as alkaline as you can, then your fighting chance gets to be higher. We always tell our patients, spiritually, they should take hold of the Lord's strength and believe that He has a plan and purpose for their life. He should ask for wisdom and guidance. Ask for a sign if this is the way he should go. We don't believe in chemotherapy and radiation for cancer. Well, we have had some patients with nasopharyngeal cancer, they had radiation, they were damaged, but then they went into alternative and they survived. But as a rule, radiation can damage cells and can produce cancer later on. So it's like fighting fire with fire. Surgery is allowed in our program if it's blocking vital organs. It's not the cure. It's only to relieve the compression and the symptom. Because, you know, we've seen patients, they do the surgery, it got worse. But then you have no choice. If it's blocking vital organs, then it has to be removed, at least to alleviate the suffering of the patient. It's not the cure for cancer, but at least you alleviate. Maybe it will give you time. We have had communication, and we brought patients before for immediate treatments in Fuda Cancer Hospital and the Guangzhou Modern Cancer Hospital in China. There, they have other modalities that they're using. If you have a tumor, they freeze the tumor. Okay, you've done something to the tumor. What about the cause of the tumor? What about the predisposing factor that caused it? You have to treat that too. So it only gives us time, because when you freeze the tumor, it stops growing, but you have to do something about the condition of the whole thing in the first place. So now we're going to be talking about a little bit more detail, not too much, because what we'll offer you would be the principle of treating cancer. And this is, we're going to be using the whiteboard for that. When you have cancer, the advice is on the first year, okay, your meal should be 80% fresh or raw and only 20% cooked. This is the challenging part for our patients. They feel that, when they are given fruits and vegetables, they feel they're not eating. They want their rice, they want their pasta, they want their meal, cooked meal. Well, we allow the cooked food, if only because it's been the habit of that person. Okay, so we concentrate on fiber-rich food. So instead of white rice, we tell them unpolished rice. See, there's a saying in the States, white rice, white sugar, white bread, pretty soon you're dead. Or the whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. Anyway, the reason for that is the fiber is gone. And our digestive system, which is very long, tends to clog up when you eat food like that. They get stuck up. They're gluey, mucoid-like substance. They stay longer. So with fibers, you don't eat as much because you feel full, and then it sweeps away your digestive tract, keeping it clean. So examples of fiber-rich food will be fruits, vegetables, what else? Grains, okay, unpolished rice, whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, those are allowed, okay? And if you don't have whole wheat bread because they're too expensive, we tell them if you're going to eat bread, you toast the bread so that it's easy for your body to get rid of, okay? Toast it. You're allowed the root crops, and the cassava we always use for fighting cancer. Okay, grains, nuts, seeds, and we advise sprouting. So I remember when we were at our training center in Eden Valley, every patient is required to sprout seeds, nuts, and grains. So they would have this big jar, glass jar, and they'll fill it with water, mineral water. And then the top, they'll cover with stockings so that the air can pass through, but the insects cannot. And they tie it with rubber band or something there, and they put the seeds, nuts, and grains inside. Every day they will replace the water. Shake, replace. by the end of a week, they are sprouts. So either they use them as salads or use them to get the juice. And a sprout has all the nutrients and elements of a big plant in a small package. So sprouts. This would be a macrobiotic diet, except for the fruits. This is very powerful, but we allow fruits, not too much of fruits, because then cancer loves sugar. So you stay away from too sweet fruits, or you can have it, but not in big amount. So when we do the 80% fresh and raw, that is where the salads and the fruits go, no? But actually, if you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with this food, you may not be able to get as much of this. So one way to do that would be to juice them, okay? So several programs advise juicing. Your most powerful weapon for cancer is a juicer. So you juice. So how much? The Gerson program says 10 to 13 glasses of juices every day. Dr. Contreras uses about 5 to 6. Well, I think the more, the merrier. So if you were to see the vegetables, the vegetable would be more than the fruits. Okay, and that's daily. This is where our patients have hard time. Not only they have to take all these vitamins, minerals, and other things that are in capsule or tablet form, they still have to do the juicing. Very important. And then, so what to eat, right? What? You will notice there's no fish or meat here, okay? So this is what is advised. If they will use oil, they're allowed to use olive oil. We don't like fermented condiments, so we advise apple cider vinegar. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, I've heard that banana vinegar is also more alkaline. So I don't know where you can buy banana vinegar, no? Okay, then we don't use soy sauce, so they use Bragg's aminos, or maybe just cut down on your salty intake. Kind of expensive, Bragg's aminos. Then when to eat? Well, we tell them 2 to 3 meals a day. If you're thinner, then you do 3 meals a day. If you're not that thin, 2 meals a day. You have a breakfast, a good breakfast, a moderate lunch, an early dinner. Before 6 p.m. if it's solid, or we just blend everything. So you blend your dinner. Okay, so breakfast, lunch, dinner. No in-between meals except juices, herbal teas, and water. What kind of tea? Well, you can use tahibo. You can use the medicinal tea. Guayabano leaves are used nowadays. Lemongrass is very powerfully anti-cancer. You can use turmeric or yellow ginger. You can mix them all and boil them and start drinking them. You know, if this can help, and this can help, and this can help, and this can help, you know what they say in the lotto? The more entry, the more chances of winning. So you fight. You're supposed to be battling cancer everywhere, you know. So it's a war. When you have a war, you need the army, you need the navy, you need the special forces. Basically, you want to fight cancer, okay? Right, so when to eat? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Blend the dinner. 2 meals is best, huh? 3 meals is good, 2 meals is best. So some patient, we just move their meal before 6, or we blend the dinner, their sugar, cholesterol, uric acid starts going down, and the weight starts adjusting. So this is actually something that someone can do even if they doesn't have cancer, okay? What else? So you have herbal tea in between and the juices, okay? But if there are severe cases that comes to us, then we start with liquefying the breakfast and the lunch and the dinner. So we call that Diet A. Diet A is when everything you eat is in blended form. Blend everything. You're going to get a better chance of fighting, because then you don't have to digest your food. Then your own enzymes can now be used to fight cancer. And you can eat as often as you want as long as in blended form. So you're getting quality and quantity. Lots of nutrients for less work. When you have that, every 30 minutes, every hour you eat in blended form, especially the raw juices, then your chance of winning is higher. So we call diet A. Then when you're feeling better and you're in good shape, then we go to diet B. Diet B is all raw. Okay, fruits, no cooked food, lunch, salads, then blend for dinner. And in between, your juices. That is your diet B. Diet C is this one. And sometimes we allow fish for those who are really having a hard time. Because there are patients that really could not live without fish, so we allow. But then, diet C is what we call the Dr. Mormon diet. Dr. Mormon is a Holland doctor who were handling patients with cancer in from 1960s to 70s to 80s. And he was, of course, ostracized by the conventional medical doctor there. But in the 1980s, the Holland government allowed his program to be the main dietary program for cancer. So he allows deep sea fish with scales and fins, and yogurt and cottage cheese. So he allows that. But if you can really do away with fish, if you have cancer, we tell them, you've got stage 3, stage 4 cancer, you better stay away from such things. So we try to simplify a diet program. And that is the first year, you're supposed to take 80% raw. Second year should be 70-30. Third year, it should be 60-40. And fourth year, until the rest of the patient's life, because cancer can recur, 50-50. 50% raw, 50% cooked. Again, it's always on the glasses of juices. So maybe second year, maybe instead of 10 to 13, it's 5 to 8 or something like that. Maybe on a third year, it's 3 to 4 glasses per day. Maybe 50-50, maybe 2 to 4 glasses per day. Okay. Supposed to be you are recovering. Your immune system is getting better, so you don't need as much. Same thing with anti-aging. If you want to get younger, take more of this. Your gray hair will turn black. The grade of your eye will start going down. You're going to have all those aches and bumps disappear. See, there's a promise in the scripture. Your strength shall equal your days. How do you maintain that? Well, of course, if I follow God's will for us, we'll have long life, length of days. But what about your nutrition? You may be following God's word, but what about your nutrition? If your nutrition sucks, put garbage in, well, garbage will come out. So it is important for us Christians to know how to maintain the body temple God gave us. The secret is raw food. The original Garden of Eden diet did not have Adam and Eve having to cook their food. And they live in the best physical health. In heaven, being given bodies, we will plant and we will eat what we plant. The fruits will be for food and the leaves will be for healing. The Bible is very clear about that. We don't just sit there playing the harp, you know. The Bible is very clear that we will be eating, drinking, walking, and having houses in heaven. So that's going to be our diet. That's the Eden diet, and that's going to be our diet when we get to heaven, if we get to heaven. Knock on wood, right? This kind of diet is something that is intended that man should have for a long time. But man decided, no, we want our own way. So we begin chopping and changing and making all sorts of concoctions. The effect is disease. So diet A, diet B, diet C, the patient just plays around. Diet A and diet B are what we call reversal diet. They can reverse aging. We have saved patients on stage 4 just going through diet A for a month or 2. Patients with liver cirrhosis, their liver started to degenerate. Patients on kidney failure, the kidneys have shrunk, they grew back on raw food, but mostly on the vegetable source. See, God did not leave us hanging when we get diseases that are serious, because the food is what we eat. We are what we eat. If you put dead food in, don't expect to live that long. But if I were to take a carrot and plant it, it will grow. If I were to cook that carrot and plant it, it will not grow. And this is one secret that we have for patients who've been told by the doctors they only have a few days to live. 2 days, 3 days to live. We start doing this. However, for really serious cases, we have something called the water fast. The water fast is intended to get super fast result, very fast result. For example, if your cholesterol is high, your sugar is high, uric acid is high, if I put you on a water fast, it will go down. They will go down. If you have a tumor, a really big tumor blocking vital airways or vital areas, if I put you on a water fast, that thing will shrink. Why? Because you don't have food. And you're not giving the body anything to eat. So the body will say, hey, my master is not giving me any food. I'm going to look for alternative source of nutrition. Oh, this is a tumor. It's made of protein. I better utilize this. So the body knows what to do when you don't give it anything to eat. But when we do that, we put the patient on complete bed rest. So water fast, no physical or mental activity. You just rest. Is it expensive? No. It's just water. You have to drink as often as you can. Then you rest. And of course you pray. And you know, prayer and fasting is powerful. When the Lord was here on earth, someone brought his son to the disciples to heal. They couldn't heal him. The disciples asked Jesus later when he healed the child, why can't we heal this? It's because of lack of faith. But this one, he says, gets healed through prayer and fasting. My thinking is when you have cancer, breast cancer example, and to heal you, they remove your entire breast, including your lymph nodes. Then they do chemotherapy on you for months until they destroy your hair, your liver, your kidneys, your blood, and so on for 6 months. And they do radiation for 33 days until it's burned until the back. Hey, fasting would be better than doing that. If the doctors are so aggressive to save you that they chop you, burn you, and slush you, and poison you, it's your body, you should be more aggressive. And if it takes fasting and prayer to do it, I'd do it. But some patients said, oh, I don't like that. I want to eat my lechon and I want to eat this. And it's very saddening because their world revolves around food and they're dying because of it. So we tell our patients, we don't chop you open. We tell you to chop vegetables and fruits. We don't poison you with chemotherapy. We give you nutrition. It's up to you if you want to live or die. The choice is still the same as it was in the Garden of Eden. There are two trees in the midst of the garden. One is the tree of life, the other one is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The choice was given to Adam and Eve. It's still the same choice for our cancer patient. You want to live? That doesn't mean when you do natural healing, you'll survive. But you have more chance of surviving. Why? On one side, it's poison being put in your body. They expect you to live longer. On one side, it's nutrition. We expect you to live longer if you follow what you can do. We've seen patients, they're about to die, and when they follow the diet protocol, there's no pain. Okay? We've seen patients eat anything, because that's what conventional medicine says when you have cancer. You can eat anything, and they die screaming in pain. We've seen patients who've been told they only had a few days, weeks to live, that have lived for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, just because they learned to follow a nutrition program. So I don't care whatever religious denomination you may be, use your common sense. We are what we eat. And if you have cancer, I do everything I can before I have someone chop me open. Because it's so final when they do that. Okay? And of course you ask God. God is ultimately the source of knowledge and healing. You tell God, Lord, I don't know, should I go here where they can chop me, and burn me, and poison me? When they poison me, will you heal me? Will you make me healthy? Every month for 6 months? Or should I do natural healing? It's so yucky, you know, so messy, and so hard work. Well, there is a saying in Filipino, nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. In English, I would say, God's grace, man's effort. You do your part, God do his part. If you don't want to do your part, God will honor what you choose to be, what you choose to do. So basically, that's how we attack it. There are other things that we do, herbs and supplements and anything, but the main issue is, what do you do? Diet and detox. It's to diet and detox. Even if you don't have all these expensive herbs and gadgets, still diet and detox. And I've seen patients eat carabao grass, juice it, and they survive it from cancer. So God is not a respecter of person, whether you're wealthy or you're poor. If you know the principle of the battle against cancer, why you got cancer in the first place, you stay away from it, you do something on your own, with God's grace, God's help, you'll be able to beat this. And if it is His will that you get well, He will lead you to the people who can help you. Because we believe that God is in control, He cares about our life. So thank you for viewing us. May God bless us all.
View the whole Start a New program starting with the opening interview with Dr. Samuel Thiessen, parts 1 and 2, and the closing interview. There are lectures on what is natural healing on Christianity, parts 1 and 2. God's marvelous self-healing body. Cancer, it can be prevented, parts 1 and 2. Alternative program for kidney disease. Diabetes. Whys and hows of detox. Learn about modalities used for healing such as body massage, hot stone massage, ventosa, charcoal pack, charcoal wrap, enema, and facial clay treatment. A video demo on how to prepare concoctions is also available. Watch the question and answer section recorded before a live audience. And enjoy the bonus sections on medical missionary work also recorded before a live audience. Thank you, and may God keep you in good health.